Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the most famous person I barely met. We are now, I believe, episode 21,
Wow,
which is when
congratulations.
people are allowed to drink. And I myself waited till I was 58, and I'm happy for that. But no, I progress. For
Cheers.
tonight's episode, I'm very, very happy to introduce a co host, Maria Schaab from Connecticut. She
Wow.
is the wife of Robert Schaab, who has co-hosted this series quite a bit, but she's a little bit better than Bob in many ways. So we're very happy about this. And we have as a guest someone you're going to love, one of Maria's good friends, one of my friends, and connected to romantically lovely in every way to one of my great friends, George Nealon, but the great Regan Kalahar. Hello, Regan.
Hello.
I got a little stopped up there. I got a little stopped up
That's
there.
okay.
But I get when I talk about George, I get very emotional. He's such a good
The
guy.
Clements.
Anyway, where are you, Regan? Where are we beaming into you right now?
I am in Shelter Island right now.
Shelter Island, and for all those who don't know, I'm not that far away. I'm on the mainland. I'm in Wainscott, so maybe 5, 10 miles from you, but there's a ferry involved.
Yep.
And it's not just a physical distance, there's a big emotional distance between Shelter Island. It's a beautiful place. And Maria, where are you? Where are you?
State of mind. I'm in New Haven, Connecticut.
Oh, I'm sorry about that, but
Oh, I'm not. I'm across the street from Sally's Pizza. I can smell it as
are
we
you sure
speak.
that's not Robert in the other room?
No, Robert's scents are different than the pizza
Yeah.
scent.
No, I've heard. Regan, we will get to you. Maria,
No, you're good.
why is New Haven pizza, Sally's Pizza, so good?
It's the char. Rob is giving me little clues as if I don't know, but it's the way they make it. It's delicious, but we won't get into the pizza now. This
Okay.
is
I can attest to it though. I've been there and had the pizza. It's phenomenal. So
George.
worth the trip.
George is a huge fan of it.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, Regan, I do know you are from Connecticut. Is that correct?
I'm not originally from Connecticut. I did live in Connecticut before I came here. Prior to
Okay.
that, I lived in Colorado for a very long time, but I lived in
Colorado.
Connecticut when I was much, much younger too, for a little while.
So you like states with a C.
Yes, very much so.
So,
How I ended
so
up in New York.
no, I'm not gonna keep talking about your boyfriend, but George loves pizza. He loves pizza. So, is there a pizza on Shelter Island that you both adore?
I'd say, I mean, there's some decent pizza places around here. We have a pizza place right on the island where we'll get slices. He loves to go to Sam's, of course, in East Hampton. There's Claudio's opened a new place called Charlie Boys, which is pretty good on the North
Know that.
Fork. But his favorite truly is going to New Haven. He loves it there.
New
So,
Haven. I like Sag Pizza in
right.
Sag Harbor. That's
Oh,
pretty good.
yes. Yeah, we like SAG too. They have good pizza.
You have to, take a loan out to get a full pie, but
Yes.
So, all right. So, where are you originally from, Regan? Are you originally from Colorado?
So I grew up in Pennsylvania,
Okay.
of all things. I grew up in Pennsylvania. I was there till about middle school, moved to Colorado for a few years, back to Pennsylvania, ended up back in Colorado. But before I went back to Colorado, I spent a long summer in Connecticut. So that's kind of where my Connecticut tie came in early on. And then I moved back to Connecticut once my daughter was graduating from high school. I said I wanted
Nice.
to live near the water, wanted to be, I used to sail and things like that when I was younger. So I wanted to live by the water. So we ended up moving to Connecticut and she went to Yukon.
Oh, beautiful. So all this traveling when you were young, it wasn't just you alone. You weren't like a
Nope.
vagabond on trains and all that. This was
Sounds like it, doesn't
I'm
it?
out of here. I'm going. This was a family thing, right?
My family, yes. My parents were big skiers. That's actually how they met. Was my dad saw the ski rack on my mom's car and the rest was history.
Really?
Yeah,
Ah, I
Did
did.
did, did he chase her down or did he
pretty
like race
much.
those things
Yeah,
down the
and
mountain?
he was very excited and took her for their first date skiing and
Oh,
so that's
that's
we
sweet.
left Pennsylvania, went to Colorado. Yeah, it was
Oh,
it
I
was
like that. So they really love skiing. That was
loved it. Yeah.
and you ski too?
Yeah. Oh, it was like a requirement. I had to learn how to ski. So yes, I can ski.
So what's the best place to ski? Is it Colorado or where?
It's
Where?
Definitely Colorado. Nowhere on the East Coast can even come close. So, and I haven't skied in other places. I will say that I haven't. My parents traveled to Europe skiing and things like that. I've never skied in Europe, but
Yeah.
Colorado is incredible. It's
You're not skiing in Shelter Island, the mountains there?
no, I
The
haven't found the
dunes, the
right mountain here
dunes, you're
yet to ski
not.
on.
So you're in Connecticut. How old is your daughter?
Well, she's 21. She's about to turn 22. She just
Okay.
graduated from college.
Wonderful, wonderful,
Yeah.
very sweet. So in Connecticut, you were in education, correct?
Yep.
Okay. And what you're a teacher, right?
I'm a teacher. Yes. I've been a special education teacher my whole career. So I've done
Whole
a
career.
variety of different things, but all special education.
Where'd you go to school?
So I started at Penn State. I went there for 2 years. I actually went to a satellite campus in a town called Altoona, Pennsylvania.
Heard of Altoona.
Oh, I'm so okay. Well, you never want to go there, just for reference, ever. It's a little terrifying. But I did live there for 2 years. I would have gone on to main campus, but I decided that I didn't want to go to a school that large. So I dropped out. Didn't know what I was going to do. That's when I ended up moving to Connecticut for a while.
Uh-huh.
And then met some friends who were going to Colorado. And I was like, well, I want to go back to Colorado. So I ended up moving with them to Colorado after my time in Connecticut. And I went back to school in a really small school called Fort Lewis College. It's in
Cool.
Durango, Colorado. It's a really small town in the Southwest. Really fun little mountain town, very outdoorsy, really small community, great place. But after I graduated college, it was kind of hard to make a living there. So I ended up leaving.
I
But
love that name, Durango.
Durango.
You're
Yep.
from such great places, Altoona, Durango. It sounds like a country song. You know,
Right.
you can ask George later. One of the great Villanova basketball players is from Altoona, Pennsylvania, Doug West.
Oh, interesting.
Doug West
Okay.
from Altoona, Pennsylvania. I'm pretty sure about that.
Wow.
I could be wrong. I'm often wrong. Um,
It's
Durango,
okay. You're getting the okay from Rob. You're right. You're correct.
Durango, Colorado.
Durango.
Wow, that's cool. So went there for education though. You went there for teaching.
No, I actually went. So my undergraduate degree is just in English literature, and
Huh?
I was going to be a writer. Um, Never happened. Actually, I really was I wanted to be a literary critic until a professor told me I'm not male and 60, so that's not going to happen.
Well, I'm mailing 60 and I'm not going to happen either. So that's all right. So then when did you get your go?
So then I ended up, I kind of jumped around a little bit. I didn't know what to do when I first went up to Denver. I was working for some small publishers, like they published magazines and things. So I did like layout and editing and things like that. And that I wasn't making a go with that. So lo and behold, I ended up in the mortgage industry of all things. That became a very messy business. I was underwriting mortgages at one point, which
Wow.
never something I thought I'd be doing, but I do love houses. My dad built houses. Like it was just always in my kind of background to be around that sort of industry, but I never expected to be doing the mortgage side of it and underwriting. But I did that for a number of years, and then the whole market was just going crazy, and people were doing a lot of shady things. So I got out of that and wasn't really sure what I was going to do. And a friend of mine suggested teaching, and so I substitute taught for an entire year, which you would think would tell you not to do it. But instead, I ended up loving a lot of the classrooms I worked in, and mostly with special education. I worked with kids with really high needs, and I really liked it. So I ended up going through a program that Denver Public Schools offered to get my teaching license. So it was a really cool, like kind of alternative licensure program. They help you get licensed and everything. So I got into that, and that's what I've been doing ever since. So
A great story. I'm sure you're really good at it, just the way you present yourself and your energy.
well, thank you.
Uh, you weren't a part of that movie, The Big Short, were you? With the mortgage industry, you
No.
weren't you were bringing that down, were you?
Put the whole thing
That
down.
might be another podcast.
That's
That's why
exactly
she
why I had
got
to turn
out.
and run, was things like that going on.
That's
You
why
didn't
she got
sell
out.
short, did you?
No,
There's going to be a
Um,
movie about Reagan coming out, but we can't talk.
right.
um, so now you're teaching on the island, Eastern End, right? Where are
In
you
Springs,
teaching?
yeah.
Okay. And are you teaching special needs still or something different?
Yes. Yeah, no, special education, but I co-teach in a classroom. So I work with kids that are on IEPs and not on IEPs. So I have a little bit of everybody, which is kind of fun. It's different for me.
Yeah, my heart's there with that. My mother, who I live with, my wife and I live, she's 91 now. but she was a special ed teacher. She taught the reading center forever, and I used to love to go to school with her in the reading center, and just such nice kids, and they were all so, enamored of her, and so I,
Well,
I know the value of that work.
yeah.
Very much.
Oh, that's great.
Maria, you teach, right? You taught. Am I correct on that?
Yeah, I'm working with special needs preschoolers,
What? Wow. Where are you doing that, Maria?
Monroe, Connecticut.
All right.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put you on the spot, both of you. This is not easy. But Regan, you start. What's your philosophy with
Oh,
this group of children? Like, what's your sort of, not to show people that I'm a literary guy, but what's your ethos? What's your sort of approach?
I think the most important thing for me is, the whole point of special education is looking at students as individuals. So I think the most important thing to me is building those relationships and getting to know children and understanding like what their needs are, where they are, and how to best approach them. So really like kind of tapping into who they are and what they need and what's going to help them be most successful in the future and grow the most. And I get really excited when I kind of find those little areas or work my way through kind of who they are and what they bring to the table and what they have, a need for and what they need to grow and how I
Mm,
can help them get
how
there.
nice, like meeting them where they're at, right?
Yeah, it's really great. And I've worked with high school students before too, and that's always really exciting as well because it's getting them out into the world and figuring out like how are they going to be successful after this? Because not everyone's going to college and not everyone is on the
Wow,
same path. So what
that's
can we
great.
do to find their path and get them there? So
Good for you.
exciting.
Good for you. What about you, Maria? Any different approach or similar or what's your style?
Similar. I mean, it's kind of new for me. I've taught traditional preschool for a while, but so special ed is new to me. But ironically, I got my master's in special ed a million years ago. They're amazing. I feel like they're otherworldly little creatures, and they're so intelligent. It's incredible, and it's just learning how to speak their language. But I agree, Regan. Like at the youngest level, they need to trust you, and
Yeah.
it takes a little while. But when you earn their trust, it's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both of you are to be commended. I just love that. And what I really like too is like both of you have an answer. Like you thought this through. Like you know what I mean? Like and because I teach now too. I teach
That's right.
writing at the college level. And I'm always asking them things. And young people, they're not as evolved as us, yes, but it's always like pulling teeth. And I'm always like, learn your story, learn your story, learn your story, learn your story. So I'm
Yeah.
so happy both you have your story down.
I think
Um,
at that age, you maybe you don't know your story yet. Your story's
maybe you're still writing your story, and we all are, Stu, but
yeah.
but let's just say that we're better. We're a little older. We're a little
I
better.
mean, okay,
Just a little older.
So Regan, I gotta ask, the writer in me's gotta ask, do you write anymore?
I do occasionally just for fun. I don't really free write as much. I kind of write a little bit of poetry, and things like that, but I do not write as much as I wish I did. I write a lot in my head. I just don't take the time to sit down and put it on paper.
And,
So,
and when you do write, or when you before, what were you writing? Were you writing stories? Like what were
yeah,
you?
I used to write some short stories. Sometimes I love to free write because I like to turn it into something more like
Mhm.
poetry or something poetic. I love just using language and finding ways to be creative with language. So,
Beautiful. Well, I'm just going to put it out there. I'm a really good writing teacher. I got a special right now, and George has money, so about $1,000 a week, I will help you
he will
take
get
that
you
next
published,
step.
Regan.
all right, there we go.
What kind of poetry you like?
Um, I mean, it really depends. Like I've kind of tried to branch out and get into a little more. I've opened up a little bit to like spoken word and stuff like that. But I mean, my all-time favorites would be like an Ezra Pound or yeah, I loved studying Ezra Pound. I just love the simplicity and again, that's like to me a lot about how to use language and how to be very how do I want to say it? Discerning in the words we use and how to put an image
Well,
together. So
you know a literary person when they go to the deli and they ask for an Ezra pound of bologna.
But, Rob also, and he may be revealing one of your secrets, Reagan, but he knows that you also write sonnets to George. Love story.
Yes,
Read one, read
daily,
one.
daily sonnets.
Glenn Fry, the Eagles.
Yes.
I saw an interview with him, and he was talking about, because people are always asking about his work, and they're like, people are like, well, what's Hotel California mean? What does it mean? And he's like, we always had a thing. There was something for them and something for us and something they don't need to know about. So I think your sonnets for George are your sonnets for George. Right?
Yes. We'll keep those private.
But that said, I did grow up on Sonnet Drive in Rochester, New York, the great Greece, New York, right next to Maylong and Ballard Avenue. We had very musical people in that area. Very.
Wow.
Well, you're really interesting. Very, very fun. What are you reading? Are you a reader?
I actually have to say I've kind of like paused because school started and I got really busy, but I was reading Colson Whitehead's. It's actually sitting right here. It's actually his book it's called Sag Harbor.
Oh,
I don't know if
wow.
you've seen that one. I loved his Underground Railroad, and so I was like, I need to read something else by him. So,
It was
yeah,
an incredible book. Very difficult to read at times, but incredible, right?
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
loved it.
Yeah.
But
So
so during the school year, you kind of like a lot of your energy. But then
it's
once you
hard.
get a break, do you like to read though? Once you get your
Oh yeah, I read a lot. When I'm not in school or I don't have other things going on, I'm reading constantly. I could sit down and read a whole book in a day. I love to read.
oh,
But
that's so great. Well, Shutter Island's a great place to read, right? Too.
yeah.
And eclectic, you like fiction, nonfiction, or is it like certain?
Mainly fiction. And I mean, it just depends. Like I go from like those, I call them my guilty pleasures. Just I love like Reese Witherspoon has a book club and I'll read some of the books from there just for fun. But I love historical fiction because I was one who never, as much as I love to read, I do not love a textbook. And I don't really like learning in that format. And so historical fiction has, I feel like broadened my world and allowed me to learn more history without actually having to study history.
And Maria,
Amen.
you're a reader too, right, Maria?
Yes.
You're
I'm just going to say ditto on the historical fiction.
Yeah.
I am a reader. I'm also kind of an audiobook junkie, so I listen to a lot also.
when you say junkie, it's not an addiction. You're not doing something with these books other than reading, right?
No, I'm not. No.
I don't know what I was going for something and I lost.
I'm not shooting
Not,
them into my arm or anything.
yeah,
No, I just
not everything is a winner that comes from my mouth. Um,
I do.
have either of you guys heard of an author named John McCaffrey? He's got a wonderful array of books that are just flying off the shelves. So if you ever want to mandate that your children read something, you could order 30, 40 of them for the classroom, and they can use them for lots of things. You don't have to read them. You can use them as coasters. There's a lot of, all right.
Paperweights. Yes, yes.
All right. Well, you're two wonderful ladies. Maria, have I not asked Regan something that I should ask, or do you have anything before we move on to the main event? Do you have anything you'd like to say?
No, I don't think so. If anything comes to mind, I'll signal.
You'll signal? Okay.
I
How
will.
will I know? Or Bobby will whisper it to you? Okay. Well, Regan, it's really nice. I know you, but now to get to know you more. Really wonderful person. Um, I
She's lots of fun.
I can tell that, and I'd say the students are lucky. But my audience is lucky because this is a fun thing, and here is why they came. They came to find out who is the most famous person, or if you want more than one, but person that you barely met. And I will say, go.
All right. Well, I'm not going to name the person right away. I'm going to tell the story because this is because the way it happened is I didn't know who the person was when I met them.
Okay.
So this is a long time ago. So I talked about living in Connecticut for a long summer. Well, while I was living there, these were the summers when I loved to go to a Lollapalooza. So this was, I hate to say the year but it was 1994. Lollapalooza, and going with my friends. All my new friends here in Connecticut and Rhode Island. Was so excited. I didn't even realize where it was at the time. I thought I was out in some big field, but anyway, that's kind of the way Lollapaloozas were. There were stages everywhere, a lot going on. And as we got there, as soon as we kind of came in, there was this huge tent, looked like a circus tent, looked really exciting. So we're like, let's go check it out. That's what Lollapalooza was all about back then. You had no idea. We didn't have social media. Nobody told us ahead of time what we were walking into. So we go into this big circus tent and there's all these screens everywhere. And kind of looks like almost like arcade games because people are doing something, they're operating them somehow. So we all kind of split up and start wandering around. And while I'm wandering around, these two older men come up to me, which was very random because I, didn't know what was about to happen. And they started asking me questions, what I thought of the games. And I'm like, I don't know. I just got here. I don't know what to expect. And we'll just say I wasn't probably 100% sober at the time. So I'm just a little overwhelmed by these men coming up to me. And also you'll see by my little show and tell, at this point, I'm in jean shorts and a bikini top. My t-shirt's hanging out of the side of my pants because it's hot out and I'm trying to have a good time. And so it's a little awkward that these older men are talking to me, but I'm like, okay, whatever. They're very nice. So I start talking to them and they're like, oh, let me show you this game. So they walk me over to one of the screens and one of the guys is like, will you play this with me? And I was like, sure, why not? What are we doing? And here it was this thing where we had to go up to the screen and it took a picture of me and then it took a picture of him and then it blended our faces together and it made a baby out of us. So the situation's getting more awkward. But anyway, and it's funny too, because it didn't even show you the picture. It like appeared up on the ceiling. Like it was this wild like display they had going on. So we're laughing about it and we're laughing at this picture. And this whole time I'm thinking, where are my friends? This is really bizarre that this is all happening to me, but whatever, I'm having a good time.
Did you feel, was it creepy at any point?
It was not creepy. No, it wasn't. It was just more funny. Like, why are these old guys want to talk to me? And like, why are they hanging out with me? It was just odd, So we're doing this. And as soon as we kind of like wrap up and I'm done talking to them, I realize there's this guy over to the side that's been taking pictures. And I don't know how I didn't notice him right away. And he comes up to me afterwards and asked my information. He asked my name, where I was from, that kind of thing. He probably identified himself at the time, but I wasn't paying attention. So anyway, that happens. Go on with our day. Have a good time. We're at Lollapalooza. Great time. So a few days later, I go into work and I worked at this little cafe in Stonington. It was called Dotson's Boatyard Cafe. It was right on the water. And I had a very small group of coworkers, really small place. So we were all pretty close. And we had this little kind of hutch when you walk in where they put all the desserts and stuff. And I go to walk in and I see this copy of the New York Times business section. So this is the actual paper, the business section right here of the New York Times.
A little higher.
And I'm like, well, this part isn't important.
Okay.
But they have it open because on the lower half of the business section, here's me.
Look at that little hottie in her bikini.
Oh,
Guys, look at my bad haircut. Look how short my hair is. Sure enough, there I am. And I'll just read you what it says.
yes.
At the caption is Microsoft's co-founder, Paul G. Allen, is financing a technology exhibit that is part of the Lollapalooza music tour. Regan Anderson, because that was my maiden name, left, and David Liddell operated an interactive computer exhibit during a concert in Quonset, Rhode Island on Wednesday while Mr. Allen looked on.
My God.
So here I am with a billionaire.
Are you kidding
Bikini
me?
top and jean shorts.
Hold that up one more time. Let's look at it one more time. Oh my
It's the real
God.
deal.
Isn't that hilarious? I know.
That's
I'm like,
awesome. I don't know. That is an amazing story.
You're boggling John's mind right now.
It's the
I'm trying to think
funniest
of this
thing.
this great movie in the 80s. This young woman, she had the same exact cut and like what was it called? Was it Ethan Hawke? It was a movie with anyway. I dig your look. I like that look.
Well, I figured, you know what, Schaab would enjoy
better than Paul
Vans
Allen
at the time. I was definitely wearing my burgundy Vans.
Regan, you know what's crazy? If that happened now, it would be it would just be construed so differently, I think.
Yeah,
You know what I
true.
mean?
Yes.
Like it would be
Yes.
like like
Epstein Island.
exactly. You know, Rob can't help but, put his little comments in here, and his thought is Epstein Island. That's not where my mind went to, but like we were so lucky. We were
Yeah.
so oblivious and innocent.
Well, my, my,
Yeah.
my, my brain went the same way back then as it is now. It was like a lecherous old guy and a good looking young lady in a bikini and a thing, and he wanted to show off his technology.
Like
What's the
taking
difference?
all that.
It's technology.
Miriam, men are men are men. Are you kidding me? He's got bucks. Here's a hot young lady, and he wants to show off his machine that he can do stuff with.
And then we had to make a baby together.
I mean, please.
Like this just would not fly in this day and age, you know?
Yeah.
Well, this is the second time Paul Allen has come up.
Well, I was laughing because I
series.
heard it in your other one.
Yeah, my friend Chris Soprano went on a yacht. He saw Usher on the Paul Allen yacht.
Wow.
So, I'm for all the time. Allen's like in the top 5 richest men in the world.
Yeah.
And you would think he'd have a better outfit than he had on in that picture. You know what I mean?
Well, I think they were trying to like be hip and like, hang out with everybody. And
Lollapalooza. They didn't want to stand out, so they were trying to blend in, right?
I'm even laughing because I reread the article because I don't even know if I ever fully read the article, but I just reread it just to see. And it's funny because they were talking about how he liked to play guitar and he loved the Eagles and Jimi Hendrix. I guess he paid some legal work for Jimi Hendrix's father or something. But anyway, there's a funny comment in there from the journalist that wrote it about how they were in the room and they were playing the Eagles so loud that someone actually knocked on the door and asked him to turn it down. So
Yeah.
I think he was trying to get really hip and in the know when he was.
Well, yeah, of course he was. I know the movie. Some Kind of Wonderful. Robert.
Oh, yes.
Who's
Yep.
the actress in that?
Oh,
Rob was thinking Winona Ryder,
it's,
but
Mary Stuart.
Mary
Yeah,
Stuart
Mary-
Matheson, that's right.
That's she used to have the short hair, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
I think she dated Paul Allen for a while. He met her at a fair where he was making babies out of technology.
Until Regan strode into the room and
and
then
I came in.
So Regan, let's get to the important part. When did you start growing the hair long? When did you end
Well,
that?
I had long hair, and then I went through like a short period of like short haircuts, and then it was like, I gotta.
Was it like a Sinead O'Connor thing where you were like you're rebellious?
No, it was alternative. It was that time of, I just was always I dyed my hair every color you could imagine. Not like today, not like the purples and the blues and that kind of stuff, but just like, I'd have platinum blonde or I'd have this like crazy
You were
red.
funky. You were funky.
So I'd like to, yeah.
What was your band? What bands did you like then at Lolla?
So I love Jane's Addiction, which is what got me like started going to Lollapalooza because he started it. But I loved at this one, Smashing Pumpkins was there. That was like a huge favorite of mine. The Breeders were there, which I liked.
Love the Breeders.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of different bands through the Lollapaloozas. In fact, I was telling somebody the one that was probably the biggest, it was exciting, but it was sad I didn't get to see them was in Philly. I went to a Lollapalooza where Rage Against the Machine was opening. They were the first act. But since they were in Philly, they decided they had to use the opportunity. So they came out completely naked with PMRC written across their chest so that they could protest and just wail feedback out of the speakers until the cops pulled them off. So I never actually saw them play, but I saw them stand on a stage.
I did that for a month and no one even bothered with me. They just left me, doing cops. I was begging the cops to take me away. Well, you have good taste in music. That's really cool.
But
you still like that stuff? You still into that, or have you changed?
It's funny. I have all different. I love so many different styles of music. So like, if you'd see some of my playlists, they're all over the place. But I did make some like Spotify lists from my younger days. So I have my like Depeche Mode, New Order, Joy Division kind of like list, and then I have like more of a harder, more like kind of punk rock list. But then I also have my like just old school rock. And then my brothers were really into heavy metal. So I have like that whole like genre, and disco is one of my favorites randomly.
I was a disco girl. Oh my God.
I love some good disco music.
Have you ever heard of a band, an East End band called The Realm?
I have actually. Funny you mention that.
It's George's brothers band. They're good. They're good.
They're very good. I love it. They're so
The
fun.
realm are good. The realm are
Yeah.
good. So music's important to you. That's really nice.
Yes, I've
Really
always
nice.
been into music.
Wow.
I was all garage bands when I was growing up. All my friends were in little bands. So
Yeah. Well, you're
You ever in a band?
I was never in a band. Nope. I tried in college, a friend, because I loved Primus. And so Les
oh,
Claypool was very engaging to me. And so I was like, I'm going to learn how to play the bass. And I tried and it didn't go very far.
these
So
are such great band names. I saw Primus.
did you?
I
Nice.
did. I did with a friend of ours named Brendan O'Connor. We went to Primus, and my friend Brendan just screamed the whole time at the top of his lungs. So, um, oh, and I used to love Jane's Addiction. They were
Yes.
good. I was always hoping they would not be addicted anymore, but I don't think they'd ever.
I don't think that ever changed.
What a good story, Regan. Really, and I love that you have the newspaper.
Yeah, it's so funny. I've always kept it. It was just one of those things. Well, my aunt went out as soon as she found out, she bought like 10 copies because I was living with her in Connecticut at the time. And when I brought it home, she's like, we need more. And she just went out and went crazy. So
Did they call you to give your permission?
no, it was when I was standing there when that guy had asked my name. That
Oh,
was
you
all.
wrote it. You signed off the
Yep,
thing.
I gave him my name. I guess who knows what I did. That part I don't remember,
And
but
did that technology morph into? I mean, is it like AI now? Was he was on the cutting edge of something or?
it's interesting. He was kind of saying in this article, it was like that was like the beginning of them trying to get a younger generation more interested in technology and that sort of thing, which seems ironic now, right? But yeah, they were trying to draw in like the younger generations and they were talking about how, oh, years from now, everyone's going to be online. And there was a lot of stuff he was doing to try to get involved with America Online and stuff. And
Well, it could have helped if they didn't send Paul Allen and a bunch of old creeps out there. You know what I mean? Get some young guys. You know what I mean? Or at least those three would scare anyone away from. Well, this is really good, Maria. Any thoughts on that story at all? Anymore? Anything else?
Um, no, but you have more meetings, don't you? Do you have more like more almost met? Barely
oh,
met?
more people I've almost met. Well, yeah, I have a few. So, speaking of concerts, Ice-T is one of them that I barely met. That was actually, I was at Penn State. It was on the main campus, and I think House of Pain was playing. And I was kind of in these big bleachers, but I was pushed up against like the side of the bleachers, but I happened to be on the side where all the bands were coming in and out, or where all the like people were off to the side. And I saw Ice-T. He was in Body Count at the time. But I went and I kind of like yelled over as loud as I possibly could, and he saw me, so he came over, and I had to like crouch down because he's like basically where my feet are, and shook his hand, and he said something to me. I could barely hear him, and then everybody saw him, so all of a sudden, like everybody in the stands turned, and he turned around and walked away. But
Yeah.
That was like
and
your what's the woman in Bruce Springsteen Dancing in the Dark? You didn't jump up
yeah,
to Dancing with Ice-T. The
yeah,
woman
yeah,
from
that,
Friends, remember?
That was Courtney Cox.
Courtney
Yeah.
Cox. Courtney
Yep.
Cox.
Yep.
Um, House of Pain. My
Oh,
God.
jump around.
Jump
yes,
around.
yes,
I
exactly.
do a version of it now called Hobble Around. It's really
Skip around.
good. Chair aerobic around. Ice-T. All right.
Yeah, so that was an exciting one.
I'm not gonna lie, I sometimes confuse Ice-T and Ice Cube. Ice Cube is the one who's on like NCI or whatever, like
Yes.
the
No,
right?
Ice-T was
NWA.
on.
NWA, Maria.
Yeah.
Straight out of Compton. Friday after next. Come on. The big he's in Ice-T's on CSI Miami or wherever the hell.
Okay, there we go. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't conflate those two. Okay.
Sorry.
All right. Sorry about that. Don't get me mad, Maria.
Come
How about
on.
one more? You got one more, Regan? You got one more?
Okay, John.
Well, since we're on the music genre, I won't go too deep into this one, but you do know the band Live?
Sure.
So they were called Public Affection. They're from my hometown of York, PA. So I kind of knew most of them in passing, but the lead singer I maybe partied with a couple times in high school. So yeah.
Okay. Are they the song Your Sex on Fire?
No, that is Kings of Leon. Is that
Kings
it?
of Leon. Right,
That
right,
was Kings
right.
of
Live.
Leon. Yeah.
Live. I'll get Live. I know Live. Well, okay. All
But
right.
yeah,
I
so
hope he's listening. Um, Regan, such good, really, I love all those stories. I always ask the same question to folks. If you saw Paul Allen
Mhm.
again, what would you say to him? If you saw him tomorrow, he's on the ferry, he's wearing those same bad shorts and all that, and he's trying to get you into a booth to look at a video. If you saw Paul Allen, what would you say to him?
I don't know. I don't know if I'd say anything. I get very like, I don't know.
Would you pull your hair up,
I'd be like, remember
put your
me?
shirt into a string thing? Remember me, you son of a bitch.
No, because you'll appreciate, not to go on to a whole nother one, but this is another person I could have met, but I panicked because I just get this weird, like, I don't do well when I get nervous around people or whatever. But Allen Ginsberg, I had the opportunity to meet and I
In
chickened out.
Colorado,
I just stared at him from across the room and watched him meet all the other people.
you didn't howl at him.
No, I would have loved to have met him. And
Was that in Colorado?
yes,
Yeah,
because he taught
he
there.
taught there. I had a friend who I don't want to say his name, but I have a friend who took his class,
Oh,
took
nice.
Ginsberg's class in
Yeah.
Colorado. And according to my friend, Ginsberg was quite taken with my friend.
Oh, wow.
He, he was he was very, very fond of my friend.
Yes.
He was, it wasn't hidden. It
Yeah.
wasn't like Paul Allen. It was more okay.
Moreover.
It
You
was
like
like Louis Anderson and
Charlie, my friend
Charlie
Charlie.
Wall.
Yeah, Ginsberg. Yeah, I like the beats, but for some reason he never nailed me. But I don't know. So, um, oh well, I shouldn't say it like that. Okay, so
Yeah, maybe a different
That's
grade.
it's
get
not
your
that
head out of the gutter,
show.
Maria.
It's
So
not that
okay,
kind of a show.
it's not that
It's
kind of
not
show.
that kind of a girl.
It's a
No.
family show. It's a family show. Well, this was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. I want to thank Maria for
Thank you,
being
John.
here. I
It's
want to
always
thank
fun.
Robert, sort of the behind the scenes guy who got it all together. I'd like to thank George, wherever he is, as my friend.
Just
He's
being
hiding
George.
behind the computer. He's
And
thinking,
most of all, I'd like to thank Regan for sharing and being so fun and really good stories and sharing a life that's very meaningful and getting better and better, I can see. So,
yeah.
really, really grateful you're doing what you do. And I hope to see you one day on that ferry. I'll go over there and maybe we'll all get together one day.
That would be
Yes.
great.
All right. Well, anyone who's out there and you like what you're hearing, like it, and please subscribe. Please subscribe so you never miss an episode and get them right out of the oven. And I will say good night and goodbye to both Maria and Regan. And thank you very much.
Thank
Adios, people.
Thank you.